second here. Okay, I'm live over there, and here comes the song. What's up, y'all? When the hits get your money, what's gonna save you, honey? Just win a chance, all you witches, and all your old magicians. It's time to start listening to Widdershins. What's up, y'all? Widdershins, radio for your spiritual side, twisted approach to the left-hand path and all the paths in between. And we are in the midst of our Witchcon marathon. And texting my guest. Maybe I have the guest. Let's see. Nope, don't have the guest yet. But we are in the midst of the Witchcon Marathon. It's the largest online magical conference in the world. Coming around about a week, March 3rd through the 5th. And we've been trying to interview everybody that we possibly can on this show. There's close to 100 presenters. So, you know, we've only scratched the surface, but we're trying to get Juliet online here. Marta's joining us. Let's see, opening Chrome now. Okay. Let's see, Witch Whisperer, how are you? I thought we were going to be live on TikTok as well, but apparently I'm still in jail till tomorrow.
What?
Yeah.
I thought you checked that.
I did. And the flag wasn't there, and then I checked, and it still said, you know, tomorrow. So, all right. That's okay. That'll give us more bandwidth. Oh. Tammy Lee says you're beautiful.
Tammy Lee, hi.
Hello, Amanda. Let's see. So we got Juliet Rose coming on, one of the presenters at Witchcon, and we're going to find out all about her in just a second. If you want to see her on screen, you got to get over here to YouTube, my YouTube channel, Uncle Birch, or one of the Facebook pages where we're broadcasting this. Otherwise, you're just going to hear her. And Juliet, wherefore are thou? There are you. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hello.
Good.
I like that you go outside too.
Yes, we try and spend.
We pretty much
you know, now that it's not
here.
winter, you know, yeah. Spend most of our time out here. You got a nice backyard too.
Mm-hmm.
There's flowers, very nice. Well, let's see. I think you're lagging. You're not moving. All right. Well, hopefully that's not a problem. Let's see. I'm gonna wait for her to move.
Yeah, she's kind of
Pissed
frozen.
means drunk. Oh, you're pissed? Okay.
Who's pissed?
Somebody's pissed drunk over here.
Oh.
And Juliet's just not moving, dude.
She's not moving.
Not moving. Oh, now she's gone. Oh, now she's back. Hold on.
Could be Clifford Part 2.
There we go. It was like Clifford. There you go.
Okay, now you're moving.
All right. So act like we don't know each other and tell us about yourself.
My name is Juliet Rose. I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I've been in New Orleans. I was one of those people who came down here sometimes and stayed longer, and the city wouldn't let me leave anymore. So
that happened to us. Yeah.
It's a thing. If she wants you, she's like, nope, you're not going back.
It was the easiest move we've ever had. We've always moved like up and down throughout California, and that was like way more fraught with challenges. And then this one, just everything fell into place. So
How did you say that? I had a similar experience. I've like made several moves within Pennsylvania and like the area, and all it always seems so chaotic. Yeah, moving here was just like, whoop, and now I'm here.
Yeah.
Well, hello, all you people on YouTube saying hi. We're on Instagram as well today, and a couple Facebook pages. I have to manually jump over to the Facebook pages to see what they're talking about. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, wait, where are we? Okay, we've got a few people in there. I can't see any comments yet. All right, so we're not missing anything yet. So, all right. So how long you been living here?
It'll be, I believe, 9 years in Mexico.
9 years.
Yeah, no, it's one of those like blink and what? Yeah. So I always joke that weird.
Oh, I was just gonna say you're cutting out a little bit, and we're trying to fix it so we can hear you better.
I'm actually moving this over.
Okay.
Is what I'm doing. So we can hear you. There we go. There we go. More mic here. There we go. All right.
And I think
So
my neighbor's music just happened to New Orleans.
we got a neighbor like that too.
Yeah.
So how many, is this your first Witchcon, or how many have you done?
So I did last year's also.
Okay.
My class was kind of just, it was a class I'd written and wanted to do for a while, channeling Mars energy and all the different ways of using it, and kind of using Mars to help cope with like angry emotions by transmuting them into use for magic. And then it kind of turned into a little bit of a Sekhmet class, and then the set class this year it did itself. Kind of just one of those things. I was going to do my trickster class, which I'm doing next fest, but the set one is what's happening.
What are we gonna do about the sound?
I don't know if we can do.
Okay.
Can you
Yeah, we get.
Can you hear me better now?
Catch most of it.
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
better now. I think.
probably because I'm really bad with technology, and the speaker on this device, I literally had it sitting on a concrete block. Probably just
Okay.
leaving.
Okay.
That might have had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well,
Yeah.
We've got a laptop. We've got a phone. We almost had 2 phones going. So, like, screens all over this table right now.
Yep.
So
So let's pretend that nobody's read your bio. So tell us everything about yourself.
okay, well, and then we're on the spot, and then we're like, what? Well, first and foremost, I guess, is Aries to exist. For people who know astrology, that tells them probably a lot about me. I became the Mars witch because I was like, it's my chart ruler. I have to use it for something. Witch, I'm also a psychic medium. The witch identity was something I guess I came in a little bit later in life, because I grew up in a Catholic family, in kind of a town in Pennsylvania where that like wasn't a thing, still isn't a thing that you could be. All right, wait, hold this there. Okay. Sorry. There we go. And then as far as being a psychic medium, that was just kind of something that, I don't know, not to say that you can't learn, but I was one of those kids who just knew things I shouldn't, and I would just go up to people and be like, tell them stuff, and my parents would be like, you can't just do that. I can't help it. Trying to find the right way to hold this. There we go. And just practice. I started learning tarot when I was in high school. Just like a fun, and then I ended up becoming basically obsessed with it. And then by the time I moved to New Orleans, mentors and teachers and meet other witches, and kind of just everything really blossomed from there. Kind of came into my craft that way. What else is in my bio? Sicilian and Indigenous, and my heritage is also a really big part of my practice. Indigenous wise, and Sicilian wise. And yeah, she's like her whole family, Mount Etna. So I always think that that probably has something to do with our bloodline and our people. In addition to being, that's what I went to school for. I do creative writing. I do poetry. I'm part of a poem, and we do readings every other week. And I grow plants, and I got a lot of creepy pets. So I guess that's pretty much it.
What kind of plant?
I said baneful plants. I've been trying to grow yeah. So it's yeah, waiting on a massive order of plant seeds for a few days now. I did that. I forgot it was Mardi Gras and President's Day and everything else. So I was like, oh no, for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely planting time around here. I think winter's gone. Not for the rest of
unless
the country.
you're in California.
But for us, I think.
Yeah, I hope so. I planted a bunch of stuff last weekend. I was like, it better.
So like, what kind of baneful plants? Give us a couple.
Well, for a while, I have 2 different kinds, and then I have a third. A purple one is one of the ones that's coming in the belladonna. And I'm about to start giving aconite and hemlock. But a few friends say you're probably not going to be able to get that to grow here, and I'm like, I am a very determined human being. Okay. And
yeah,
I have
I knew a guy
and wormwood as well.
I knew a guy in I think Oregon that grew Abre Camino. They just did it in a greenhouse because it needs humidity. So it's like you can you get creative. You can get something to grow anywhere.
Yeah.
That's
Emerald City.
because I have reptiles, so I have climate controlled parts of my house already for my snakes and my spiders. So I'm like, I'll probably be able to figure it out.
What kind of spider do you have?
She is a black velvet tarantula, and I got her last year. She's still probably about exactly a year old, or maybe at least still considered young and kind of in her growing stage. So she's not black, shiny, and velvety yet. She's still kind of purple. Yeah, super adorable. Her name is Bellatrix.
Cool.
I never liked spiders, and then was at a reptile show with my friends and thought I was going to leave, and just something about that little spider. I was like, I think I need to take you home with me.
Yeah, that's how I always felt about snakes. Like, I'm not a big fan of snakes, but I used to have a snake, and I loved my snake, just my snake. So yeah, you can make it work.
Well, yeah, I was kind of wondering. It's like you growing all those baneful plants. You must not have dogs and cats, right? Or you keep them out of there.
I have cats in there indoor, but
okay.
No, I'm pretty. I guess I figure what kind of got me to start doing it is there's deadly nightshade grows in my yard naturally from the earth.
I think,
a form of
I think we have it
nightshade.
here, right on the corner.
Yeah. So poison was already growing out of the ground just of its own accord in this yard that I had rid of it and it was coming back. I was like, I guess this is just what this yard wants to be. And then I felt like or anything, I was kind of just giving it more of what it already was cultivating and more of what it wanted.
Yeah, when we first moved here, we tried to grow a bunch of stuff that didn't work, and now I'm like, whatever wants to just grow here, just grow here.
Except
I'm not going to fight it.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
When I lived uptown,
I hate that.
I grew a lot of the traditional herbs and things like that. And I mean, I still have my basil and my holy basil, but I used to grow a lot of rosemary. None of that does super well in my yard in St. Rock, but pepper incredibly. Yeah. Just pepper.
I've seen other
pepper
people
plant
with rosemary,
just out.
Yeah.
So soil. It's just kind of
Look how much lighter it is in her house.
Yeah.
How far away are you? It's like dark over here.
I'm by the cemetery. I think we talked about this. I think we're pretty near y'all, but for whatever reason, I think so. That's why. Also,
our trees
my
get
light
a lot of shade.
also is kicked on too, so it's getting.
Okay. So, what are you teaching at Witchcon?
So I'm called Faces of Set, and again, that was something that kind of, I don't know if witches. It came to be in a dream, but but it did. Years I was primarily, I don't want to say like strictly a god. I mean, obviously, but when I worked with an invoked god energy, it was always the kind of like Mars, traditional type of vibe, and it was the same with my goddesses, and I was kind of really missing that balance. And I like had never really been drawn to Set. I'd of course heard of him. Whatever, but I'd heard of him in the vein of like Left Hand Path Set. And a year and a half ago, I had a dream about Set in that kind of like big muscly chaos god kind of like monster, but like in the dream it was like all these smells of like roses and gardenia, palo santo and frankincense and like all the like things I associate with smelling good and pure. It had a completely different vibe, and in the dream that Set was like introduced himself as Set of the Temple of. So I woke up and I was like, what a weird dream, that's bizarre. Kind of shelved it for a little. Some different books I was reading and kind of picking up along the way were talking about all these different like Set avatars, Egyptian history, and that there were versions of Set who were worshipped as lust gods or who were invoked for like protection. There's like queer Set with a relationship to some of the really, really old glyphs and kind of all these things. Set who was married to Nephthys and like they were Hathis unhappy, and just kind of all these different versions and things that people invoked him for. So maybe my weird dream like isn't that far off the mark. And then it just kind of took different research, and I kind of wanted to share that with everyone. So
this will be your first time teaching this particular class?
This class, yes. So I'm really excited about it. I want to start it with, because there's so many different versions, and I want everybody to come into, because everyone's going to have their idea of like who takes the class is going to or have heard of him or have some, whether they work with him or they just have heard myths. So I'm going to where everybody kind of visualizes, like a deep visual can kind of have like whatever Set comes to them naturally kind of show up and appear, and then people can kind of share, what did you smell, what did you sense, and then we'll start talking about some of the different versions throughout history. People can kind of match the sets that showed up for them to the sets that we talked about.
Interesting. Let me see here. I was gonna ask you. Born Aries, but she was supposed to be a Taurus. What's that about?
You dodged a bullet there.
So I was born 3 weeks early, and I joke that it's like the only thing I'm chronically better about it. Maybe because just in New Orleans, people's concept of time is slower. But I grew up always everything, and the joke was always that the only thing I was ever early for was like being born. Supposed to be in Aries, like just that strongly. I was born on Tuesday, and it was just this whole kind of like so there's a whole bunch of Aries in my chart, kind of everywhere. So it's people say like, oh, you're like, I've heard people say they identify with a sign they were supposed to be born late, and I was like, no, I'm not a Taurus, but I'm also so stubbornly an Aries to a Taurus level of stubbornness, which is kind of hilarious. But
Well, I've often said and heard said that Mars is the brutality of war, Aries is the art of war. Tell me about the Sicilian and Ethiopian magic. I never got to ask that question of anybody.
It was really interesting because like coming up, obviously Catholic, and but there are always these kind of like witchy elements, and I was always told about my great grandmother. I never met her in person, but when I was a kid, I channeled her in person. Like that was kind of how my family knew. They were like, "Oh no, like this medium." They didn't call it medium connection, and people they kind of thought at the time it was my great grandmother. Supposedly, I look more like her than anyone in our family, and she was also very similar personalities and all this kind of thing. But I was always just sort of fascinated by her, and everybody called her the witch. And she was very, very Catholic, but she would also have her different rituals. Like different family members would tell stories about oh, she would like cast a spell or make this thing or grow this herb, and I just kind of wanted to, as I was wanting to learn more, and I was reading about Italian magic, fascinated because a lot of the literature that I was reading was like mainland Italy, not Sicily. Always asked me, they're like, why do you think you were always drawn to like all these Egyptian gods, like the Roman gods? And I was like, I don't know. They are just the ones that have always. And then I come to find out that my grandma, like this cross that grandma rather had, I didn't know it was Ethiopian until I was in a store in the French Quarter, and I was like, oh my God, what is that? And they were like, that's an Ethiopian cross. And I was like, grandma had that. And then people said, not really, because where she's from in Sicily is like, you know, like, there's a lot of like closer to Greece and parts of Africa than it is to mainland Italy. City like New Orleans, just a lot of different cultural influences, a lot of cultural exchange. So element her magic, or my family line's magic, was more kind of like New Orleans Catholicism and a little bit of Ethiopian influence and Egyptian influence, and Roman, I would say. So, like, there's temples to Isis in Sicily. So,
There's temples to Isis in Sicily. I didn't know that.
yes, yeah, and Hecate also. So,
how long have you been? Go ahead.
Oh, I was possibly double check on that.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask how long you've been practicing. In general,
probably. I mean, like myself a witch, and the first time I cast a spell, I was like 14. A teen witch book. I got it from a yard sale and hid it under my pillow bed because I was afraid that like family members would find it and judge me and stuff. And it's funny because of course the first spell, and it was out of Silver's book, and it was one of those almost like manifestation type spells where you use that you want a partner, and but like part of it was like like kiss it with your favorite little moon or something. And what's hilarious is that I joked a few years later I did that spell, and then my first boyfriend did end up being like all of those things that I had written book qualities, which was really funny.
Was it Teen Witch?
It was. Mm-hmm.
Okay, sounds like Teen Witch. Okay, yeah.
Yep, it was.
Oh
that was my first book of magic. So
I had to read it because the witch store I was working in, it was a big seller, so I had to know the book. So yeah, I also had to. I watched The Craft because people came in and asked questions about that.
Oh yeah.
Watch Practical Magic, and then the Charmed. Oh my God, Charmed. So many questions about Charmed came in the store. I had to watch all that just so I would know what the fuck these kids were talking about. I
loved the Ghost Whisperer with Jennifer Love Hewitt. Mm-hmm. I was like as cheesy as I watched it again. Rio is and like the late 90s, early 2000s nostalgia. It's like a pretty deep doing mediumship while also living like a normal person life. So,
well, I think I was just talking about this on TikTok. You're talking about how you hid it under your pillow to keep your family from finding it.
Yep.
My witch mother, when I was trying to study the Keys of Solomon, I just, he asked us, oh, the bats are out.
Bats.
Oh, the bats. Sorry. The bats.
Can you hear them?
I can hear them on y'all side. Y'all are lucky.
You hear?
I keep
Yeah.
saying I
Good
want to
mic.
like put a.
But she told me, I told her, I'm not really getting this. Kind of can wrap my head around it. So she said, sleep on it. And so I come back the next day. And I said, okay, I slept on it. I still don't understand. She said, well, what do you mean you slept on it? I said, I went to sleep. I woke up. I'm still not getting this book. She said, my words were clear. Precise speech leads to precise thought. I said, sleep on it. Put it under your pillow and sleep on it. And so I did that. And fuck if that doesn't work. I can't explain how it works. I mean, you still got to read the book, but something about having those books right next to your fucking head when you sleep, they make a lot more sense when you read them the next time.
Osmosis.
Osmosis, yeah.
I used to do that in college when I would get too tired. I'd be like trying to study. I'm undiagnosed ADHD. I was like, why can't I focus for more than like 6 seconds? Study it. And I would eventually, in my brain, I thought I made it up. Flipped on it literally, and I would put the study guide. It's like under my pillow or whatever, and I just point anything, try anything. So.
Yeah. I did that in college too. I at a certain point in college, I tested my faith. I had a consecrated silver coin. I always sat in the back with the riffraff, and I would flip that coin for fucking, true, false, multiple choice. I'd flip that coin. Eventually, the professor said it was too distracting, so I go like this in my hand with it. But fuck, I still had a 3.0. I refused to study for a certain point. Said, I'm going to put all my faith in my fucking silver coin, and we're going to see how far we get.
There you go.
Kids.
It's always I never made fun of manifestation, of the like woo-woo conversations that people would have about it until I realized that that's literally how I've gotten through life. So why I call it manifesting out of chaos. But that's always what I did, is at the end of the day, I'd always be like, oh, it's just going to work out. Of course it's going to work out. And or like there was like school tests or activities or events or breakups or whatever that would always, it has to work out. It just has to. And then I realized, like, that's really stages. So.
Okay, so it says in your bio, Native American and Sicilian. What tribe? Native American.
Narragansett.
Okay, so
out of Rhode Island.
I don't know if you've ever been on TikTok. I spend too much time there. Every time I bring up white sage, I get 5,000 followers. My video goes fucking viral. What I'm always saying, because everybody always says the same thing, it's close practice, don't use it, blah, blah, blah. And I always say, every Native American I ever talked to, and I did a poll on my channel one time, told me that white sage was to create the proper atmosphere for the Great Spirit to enter. Now, in witch speak, we would call that invoking. And the kids are using it for what we would call in witch speak, banishing, getting rid of shit. And that's always my angle. It's like there's a lot of other things, and you probably have other things to say, but I've always taken that angle. It's like you're not only shouldn't you probably be using it, but you're using it wrong. Thoughts, your thoughts.
It's almost like halfway there. And I preface this with, not that I don't know, really care. People love to twist my words into being part of the fun of being me. But I am going to blanket this with white sage personally. So though I am an indigenous woman, I'm not sage is not my tribe's practice. I probably shouldn't be doing it either, but I do. But what I was always taught by all different people and all different like native friends of mine and how we use it is pretty much like band at the same time. So what I use my sage for, and I've actually of saging myself in my home almost every day. If I forget for a few days, I definitely notice a difference. It's almost like the vibration of the space goes down if I don't do it. But what I sage and while it's burning, first I say like everything that I'm getting rid of. So it'll be like, I always taught to like open everything, like open your cabinets, open your closet, open whatever, because that stagnant is going to clutter up. And if you're not also smudging out those spaces, that's still locked in there with nowhere to go. It's also always told, if you don't have a door or window open where you're directing the energy to go away and what you want to come in, then you're basically just chasing your own demons around your house with the sage up and not doing anything. So I say everything I want to go away. So I'll be like, you know, be gone. I want to say like, be gone depression, be gone lack consciousness, be gone, and then be gone negativity. And then immediately after that, still smoking, I say everything that I'm bringing in, kind of with the smoke. Like I'll guide this kind of like this motion, an in motion instead of an out motion, and then you know, I welcome in abundance, I welcome in happiness, etc., etc., etc.
So invoking and
I was also always taught about energy. If you take from a space, something else is going to want to fill that space immediately.
Nature abhors a vacuum.
You want to be the one of those in there.
Yeah, nature abhors a vacuum. So, when you banish, you must invoke. So yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I use it for both. I'll use, and then I'll burn. You know, after do Palo Santo, I might do frankincense. I might do an incense that's associated with. I'm a huge fan of cedar, which is sacred to my people. As one of cedar and tobacco.
Yeah.
So I use those.
Well, I think the same debate is online about Palo Santo.
Oh yeah.
And on TikTok, I think it was about a week ago, an Ecuadorian witch came on, which is the native land of Palo Santo. It's native to Ecuador. And she said only one species is endangered, and it only grows on the Galapagos Islands, which, most people can't go there. And, harvest shit, definitely.
Sure.
And she said that in Ecuador, it's primarily not used for spiritual purposes, but to get rid of mosquitoes.
That tracks.
So her argument kind of fucked up everybody's, what everybody's saying online. Mosquito. And so I, here in New Orleans, shit, I want to get some Palo Santo. Mosquito season. Really? Does that work?
Well, we have some right now.
Yeah, we got some.
I have bushes that help a lot with that. And then also, hilariously, there was just a Facebook debate. I had posted a picture last year in this garden of this weird looking, and I was like, people, these are all over my plants, but they don't seem to be killing them. What is? And about half the internet, they were like these horrible invasive things. And the other half were like, no, those are assassins. Like, don't kill them. So I basically looked at him. I was like, whatever y'all are, like, you're here. If you're not hurting me and you're not hurting the plants, you can stay. And I didn't get a single mosquito bite or see a single. So I'm hoping they come back. So if you see those bright orange things, like, whatever they make the mosquitoes, not a thing. So
What's this plant? I need this plant.
Bug. They're just like, they're almost look like leaf bugs, but instead of they're bright orange to like dull red. And yeah, they're kind of like other leaf bugs. They'll just, like, one day I walked outside and like there was one of my nightshade bushes in them, and I was like, this seems bad. And then I ended up leaving them a chance on it, and then no mosquitoes, no spiders, and then they went away when it got cold. Come back because no mosquitoes, no spiders. It was pretty nice.
Nice. I haven't had a problem with spiders, but definitely mosquitoes. I think it's gnats.
Yeah, I
now.
haven't really seen any spiders here either.
It was right after Ida. I guess they probably all came in because of this. Like, I don't like that, and then they went away again.
I think we had some of that too.
Fair enough.
Let me let's read the plug.
Anyone has
here.
questions?
Let's see.
She just asked if anyone had questions.
Oh,
but
question.
it's okay.
Oh yeah, you know what? I haven't checked Facebook. Let me see. Okay. All right. No comments on that one. And everybody's just saying hello on YouTube. No questions
hello back.
on Instagram. Yeah. All right. Get some questions ready for her. I'm going to read the plug
Sure, please.
here. Pay the bills here. Bring the magic to you. March 3rd to the 5th. Oh my God.
Coming
right
up.
around the corner.
Yep.
I better figure out what the hell I'm teaching.
You're going to say what the hell I'm wearing.
The world's largest live stream magical conference featuring nearly 100 witches and conjurers on live video from across the globe. Watch classes live and then rewatch as often as you like. Witchcon online presenters are preeminent masters of the magical arts and hail from across the rainbow spectrum of occult and spiritual practices. Registration, y'all. I mean, we're right around the corner, and this thing's almost sold out, so you need to hurry up. It's limited to 1,000 attendees. Bandwidth we have, okay? And includes all live classes, rituals, and performances, as well as access to recordings of every class after the event has ended via our on-demand library, so you won't miss a single magical moment. Attendees and fans will love the virtual Vendorium featuring powerful ritual tools, signed books, exquisite jewelry, and handmade spellcrafts. Our virtual meet and greet. That's where the shit really happens. Lets attendees and fans alike meet and chat with presenters live on Zoom. And it's a great way to know your favorite teachers and see them get all fucked up.
Yeah, you're right.
Online is live streamed on Hex Education Network on Crowdcast, a web-based platform with no need to download an app. Y'all, get over to witchcon.com. I'm sick of telling you. I don't know if we have any more guests scheduled for this Witchcon marathon.
Crystal Madison.
Still Crystal Madison? Okay. Okay. Crystal Madison tomorrow. That I almost launched that one today.
I know.
We had to reschedule yours, and I changed the time, and then somehow it screwed it up in the lineup. I clicked on the broadcast. I'm getting ready to, call. The link I sent you was for Crystal Madison's broadcast. Sorry about that.
What?
Took me a while to figure it out. I had to redo the event, and it worked.
I guess now is also a good time to mention that I'm going to be vending, and I make spell jar towel. So I make spell kits and spell centered around kind of like using Mars energy in different ways. The spell kits come with, or like myself, out of some of the things from my garden. I don't, except for like the super painful thing in anything that I sell to the general public. So that's not a thing. But with candles, they come with little rituals that you can do for all different kind of like different ways. So I have them for love. I have them for domination magic. I have them for personal transformation, that kind of stuff. My the healing fire of Sekhmet one that I started doing. And then I also make talisman necklaces out of a combination of those herbal blends, gemstones, different random strange things that I find that are like bones and crow feathers from cemeteries and snake vertebrae that I've cured and all different kind of fun stuff. So
Is there another place where people can check out your stuff if they miss the vending time that you're doing?
And my
Do you have a
website
website or?
it's under construction at this moment because I want it
Okay.
to be ready. But it's probably going to be, so it would be marswitchjuliet.rose.com. So it's under construction right now because I want it to be ready for so Earth Odyssey in the French Quarter here in New Orleans. My talisman jar necklaces are for sale in there. That's where they
Cool.
live
I don't
right
think
now.
we've ever been in there.
What shop?
It's on the tip of my tongue. What's it called again?
What shop?
The
Earth
shop
Odyssey.
where you
It's a
work?
crystal shop.
Yeah, Earth Odyssey. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but we've never been there yet.
Yeah. I'm the assistant man to a tarot reader and medium at Potion. So.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
I've been seeing you checking in there like pretty regularly with your cards.
Yeah, we gotta get to Potions.
It's a fun place, fun people.
It is.
Yeah, we have a really fun question.
On Hexfest opening day, I'm not going to Potions again.
Yeah, that Friday.
It's too nuts. There's too many witches. Oh my
Too
God.
crazy.
So the next day, sure, I'm going to like Golden Lantern or something on opening day.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was Hexfest opening day last year. I think I just went over to the Vampire Cafe. I was like, nope.
Yeah. Well, I think that's part of the
much.
problem is the Vampire Cafe started telling everybody. It's like the first time we came, 2019, we had to be told about the place by somebody. We had to have a password and, $10.
Yeah, Hoodoo Semoise had to tell us the password.
It was, it was very hush hush, and it was a speakeasy.
And they didn't have a website back then, and they never talked about it.
I mean, you did see it on the map thing. It's like you'd be standing in front of Fritzl's, but it said Potions. But yeah.
But if you try to take an Uber there, it does not come up. It shows even if you put in Potions, it changes.
Did we put in Fritzl's?
I think we put in Fritzl's.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Put it in Potions, and then it changed it to Fritzl's. Or I was like ordering Uber Eats to there or something, and it changed.
Well, that sounds like a good gig. Reading at Potions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen readers there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking Facebook.
Fun. It's like I love you can be above the chaos of Bourbon Street, literally.
Yes. That's the only time I want to hang out on Bourbon Street.
See it happen, feed off of it, but then directly participating. So that's where I spent a lot of Mardi Gras Day. Actually, was up on the Potions balcony.
Yeah.
This is watching the insanity happen all around.
Yeah. That's
good.
Well, let's see. Well, hell, we're about to the end. Okay.
Somebody asked me something fun.
Huh?
I said somebody asked me.
I know nobody's saying it. It's like
the TikTok people ask a lot of questions, but they're not.
If it wasn't in TikTok jail right now.
Yeah.
We probably have some questions because the new kids.
They're all new and want to know everything.
Very excited. People over here on Instagram, you're boring. On YouTube, you're boring. Sean,
jaded and boring.
I'll come accept your friend request when I get on Facebook. I did see that pop up there, Sean. But good to see you again. You were here when I tested the broadcast earlier today. Well, so you don't have a website to plug. You got anything else to?
Well, it's under construction.
Well, it is. So right now, while it's under, because it's Wix platform thing that I didn't like, and so I'm literally rebuilding it right now. So it's ready for people want to buy things now or talk to me now. They can find me on Instagram. The one I post on regularly is coyote_carpe diem. And I also have a Mars Witch J Rose Instagram that people can book through if they, or things like that. Message me on there. I'm on Facebook as Juliet Rose Tracomi. I think I'm on TikTok as Mars Witch J Rose as well, but I haven't been on it in forever. But it's get on again, because like you said, that's
Okay, I'll try to
That's
remember
where-
to follow you on all those too.
Mhm.
yeah.
Or if you see me, send me a thing.
And
For sure.
once the site's done, will you be offering readings or any type of services or anything from the site?
That is the ultimate goal. My old site I did, and so now people have just been booking through. But like when it's back up, the old site had the option to book tarot readings as well. So I'm going to be doing that again. I also do tea leaf reading, and possible to do remotely, but it's kind of harder. And yeah, sort of. I had said for years that I was never going to offer palm readings, and it was kind of this like maybe a little bit of Taurus nature about me. It was like, I'm just not going to do it. And then now I'm kind of like, people are like, come on, just do it. So like, that's
I saw that you were.
art.
I saw that you were hanging out with Jim the other day.
Yeah.
Maybe he motivated you a little bit.
Absolutely did, because I got a palm reading with him, and I kind of had to be a little bit coaxed here. I'm going to take advantage. He said, why? I said, I said years and years ago, like in high school, maybe early college, I got my first and only palm reading ever was this woman who looked at my hand and said that I had a broken heart line, and I was never gonna and that I was gonna die of a heart attack, which is like not something we know as ethical readers, like especially like an 18, 19-year-old girl who's just like, excuse me. And then even having other people, I had one of Ellie's medical palm readings at some point, whatever, but I never wanted to like let them tell me about relationships or anything. I'd always be like, oh, never let you see, but tell me. And I just never really wanted to go there. And then recently I looked, and or if, as Ellie and Jim say, like your hand can change over time, especially as you work on yourself. Not only do I have a completely intact, unbroken heart line, like it's faint, but it isn't. Like if you look at it with a light on it, it doesn't actually split at all. So like either it changed or that lady was just wrong like the entire time. But either way, I was like, all right, Jim, give me a. And it was so empowering.
What was her angle? Was she trying to like sell you a cleansing or something? It's like, why do you tell somebody?
No. It was like young college girl, whatever. Like I'm good. I don't know. It was just like one of those kind of like people, like people who pull death cards and say that it like means the person's gonna die, or to someone who just watched horror that information. But it made me never not want to be a palm reader, because I was like, what if I see that and have to tell someone that? But things change.
Jesus. Mojo, what are you fucking doing?
Sorry.
That'll be my energy. I'm sorry.
They're just trying to kill something.
Yeah. We got a question. Juliet, if you could recommend any book about the craft or magic, what would it be? What book about herb and potion recipes for spells? Ooh, that's good.
Really good question. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I am very, very, very into a book called. It's wonderful. It has it has some non-poisons as well, just like traditional witchcraft herbs. It has sigils.
What I think
for the
you
different
cut out.
plants.
What's it called?
The Poison Path Herbal.
The Poison Path Herbal.
And traditional way that herbs are used, ways to use them now medicinally and metaphysically, kind of like correspondences, growing advice for the plants. It's an oracle deck. I think it's Christopher Penczak and Maxine Miller. Botanical something. It's an oracle deck that just came. Currently loving on the cards a whole lot, and it has a lovely book that comes with it, and journal and some stuff. And then there's the I think it's Paul Barrel. It's the Herbal Magic Compendium. It's the big gold book.
Oh, yeah. Compendium.
Yeah, I think it's called. That was one of my first. Ellie recommended that to me years ago, and I've had it sitting on my shelf since, and I pull it out sometimes. So I'm like, is this a Venus
Yeah.
or Saturn? Or so that one's good too.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, thanks for joining us. We're going to get out of here, plug the last couple things. I guess we'll see you at Witchcon. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are you doing Hex Fest, by the way?
I am.
Oh, okay. Definitely see you there too.
Super was originally going to do for Witchcon before, like I said, the set class kind of just came into form. Like, okay, this is happening. Was going to be my trickster magic class. My spirit animals. It's kind of just a class about different trickster mythologies and trickster throughout all different cultures. Pretty much all cultures that I've come upon and learned about have, and it's a really fun energy to tap into and kind of use in your magic. So,
all right. Well, maybe we'll have you over to talk about Hex Fest when we get closer.
Oh,
to that.
Yeah, he still has to make his quiche. So
Yeah.
we're going to do that.
I mean, we didn't even.
I'm
Yeah.
excited about your quiche. I love quiche.
We were going to buy
definitely.
eggs for you and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
Eggs
just gonna
Yeah.
grab them and run out of the store. You know, because
people have been putting them in their pockets
yeah, I was
and then
gonna
like
put them in my
lining their
pockets and
free
sneak
fridge.
on out. Man,
Yep.
it's expensive.
That's crazy. Crazy. But I always like neighborhood roosters and chickens by your house.
Yeah.
But I would love to know. And I'm like, I would love to know where they lay their eggs, like where the stash is. But
All right,
So-
Julia, thanks for coming on. We'll see you
Thanks
at Witchcon.
for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right, so there's a couple more days to join my February 2023 Witch School. You got to get over to gumroad.com/witch school, which is, of course, WITCHSKEWL. Check us out at Witchlens. If you have an Apple product, we have an app for you. It's called Witchlens. Me and Marta are the admins, so if you violate community guidelines, we will be who you have to deal with, motherfuckers. We are working on getting it to the
Google
Android
Play.
platform.
Yeah.
But right now, it's free on the Apple Store. So, break out your old iPad or something. Get over there and join us at Witchlens, where we're having a good old time and doing it for ourselves. Anything else?
I can't think of anything right now.
Then we have nothing.
I was going to remind you about Witchlands, but you're on it.
There you go.
So,
as our ancestors used to say to remind us about the troubled times through which they came and the breadcrumb trail that they left you to follow. Mary Meets. Mary Part over there on Instagram. Mary Meet again, y'all.
what do you say?